old screen line. Joe Hunter 73 is doing fine. He's got a desert trooper with a severed waist, searching for the part that can't be replaced. He hits the forum with a digital flares. Alpha One Creative is already there. Two warriors meeting in the glow of the night, bringing plastic legends back into the light. It's the snap of the circle, the strength in the core, holding the front line through the tabletop war. Black rubber tension, keeping heroes alive in the hands of the makers. The legends survive. The legends survive. Alpha pulls the bag from the bottom drawer. Fresh nitrile rings like he's ready for war. He says, Joe, listen close to the secret I've found. You gotta loop the hook and then wrap it around. Avoid the dry rot in the sun-bleached shelf. Every veteran collector knows it himself. Screw out the back plate and watch for the spring. Everything depends on that little black ring. It's the snap.
Hey everybody, it's Wednesday night. It's time for another edition of the O-Ring Operatives, fresh off of Joe Fest. And I got a special guest with Alpha One and I tonight is, first off, we got Casey from
very special guest, podcast from the pit.
Yep. And down below me, we got Josh.
From After Action Report.
There you go.
There we go. How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
And freaking tastic.
Good to be on your guys' show for the first time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank
coming
you.
on, man.
Well, I appreciate it very much. And very short notice since we just set this up on Saturday or Sunday.
It might have been Sunday.
Yeah.
I think it was. I was like, when does your show air? When does the Kickstarter end? Oh, I better get on there.
Yeah. Casey's like, are you going to do your show on Wednesday night? I was like, I can. I was like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm down.
So yeah, no, definitely want to get this show together because After Action Reports got a Kickstarter going that we're going to talk about here in a second. First off, though, let's go to the chat real quick. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. Casey is also streaming this on his channel, so we got some people over there as well. So everybody crisscross if you want. Saying hello to, hey, hells to the yeah, Danny. Glad you could make it on tonight.
Yeah.
Swordsman, hello, sir.
Swordsman.
Veteran
Hey,
boss.
I really miss Matthew at Joe Fest.
Yeah, definitely. It was a big miss. So hopefully he can make it next year. It was good to see Bob.
Always good to see Bob.
BRB, baby.
Got my dinner done just in time. Oh yeah, Royal Rooster is in the house. Hello, sir.
Except Roy.
Rooster.
Hello, everybody.
We got
Are
Nate.
Are these all regulars on your show?
For the most
Yeah,
part,
for
yeah.
the most part.
That's good. You gotta love the regulars, I tell you.
Yeah.
They are the bread and butter of our fandom. You know what I mean? Like you've been with G.I. Joe probably since we were kids, and just keep going, right?
Yes. We saw this guy.
Oh, Cody
Joe
made it. What's
Fest.
up, Cody?
Cody.
What is up, Cody? It was good to see you, sir. Second year in a row for me to see you. Got the legend himself, Ronnie Trickshot.
Oh, man.
Hello.
Lucky us.
One in Toys. Hello, sir.
What's up,
Thank you for
Johnny?
popping in. Smog 17, how are you doing? Thank you, Ronnie. Yorktown Joe, Wednesday Night Live and in Techno Color. Yeah.
Yorktown.
Hey, we got Steve. What's
What
up,
up,
GI
Steve?
Jokers?
Hey, Steve.
Josh, are you on Instagram much?
No, but the author of the
busy.
command files, Greg Augustin, is. He's a G Unit 2472, so he kind of handles all of the after action report, uh, Instagram stuff. He had established himself there a long time ago, about 10 years ago, and that's actually how command files came about. Actually, part of the origin.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
G Unit 2472 on Instagram.
G Unit 2472. All right.
One of my first follows when I got in Instagram was G Unit.
G-Unit.
Yeah. So he was well known. I mean, you with like these handles, you never know the name's person, the real person behind them, but everybody kind of knows the handle. And but yeah, that's Greg Augustin, the author of Command Files.
Nice. Nice. I was going to say, if you're on Instagram, you need to check out GI Jokers. He has one of the best Instagram accounts on
One
there.
of the best.
Yeah. Just spectacular photos.
It's pretty
Funny
funny.
photos. Yeah.
Funny. Yeah. Funny photos. Well themed. Just, yeah. So, ahoy, wreck ship. How are you doing, sir?
Jono.
Casey, did you run into Smog 17?
Maybe. So many people. So many. I can't remember them all.
Oh, Casey, bad.
This guy,
We did run into Krusty.
Krusty, I have to apologize to you, sir. That was me at the Augusta airport waiting for our flight to Atlanta. I talked to you. I just never. Excuse me, I'm getting verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves.
He's got the
But
Gronk.
yeah, I do. I got some crud coming back. But no, I should have shaken your hand, sir, and I do apologize for that. I'll get you back next year. And I made my flight. I don't know if you saw, because I know you were a few seats behind me, but I had to go from gate 8 to gate 33 in less than 10 minutes. I think it was closer to 5 minutes before my
Damn.
flight. Dude, I was doing the OJ hurdle, cutting off necks, jumping over. Oh, it's been forever since I've ran. So when I sat down, I was afraid I was going to cramp.
You know what I would have done in that situation, Wes? I would have missed my flight.
No,
Me too.
no.
You know what the real
Jedi.
trick is? Just pretend you're like have an injury and get one of those wheelchair people to push you, and it's faster. Or get one of those like electric carts.
Yeah.
I'd rather get those
and
golf
be like,
carts.
I hurt my ankle. Get me there. And they're like, okay, we'll get you there.
If it's me, with my size, I'll just fake a heart attack.
There you go.
They'll believe it.
It really is faster. I've done it twice in different airports over my time where I just was like, I'm like, man, I'm there. No way I'm running with a bag and everything. I'm like, oh, I hurt my ankle while I was on vacation. Can you get me there? They don't care. That's their job. That's their job.
Dude, that Augusta airport, that is one, it's super nice because it's Augusta and it's catered to everyone coming in April for the Masters. But I literally thought we were just going to walk outside and board the plane on one of those step-ups instead of a jetway. But
Yeah.
it was nice one. Michigan Jedi, hello, sir. And I wasn't sure if that was you on the other one. Oh, good. You just had to miss. Yeah, no, I had to piss, so I come out of the bathroom and Crow's like, he probably sees my hat and recognizes, me from Joe Fest. And he's like, you just missed Hamma. It's like,
on Hammer was on one of the Augusta flight getting out. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Man, I hope that obviously he, on Saturday he had health issues. The mystery, no, and then he was there on Sunday signing like crazy. But it's like when you hear that of our kind of heroes and they're 80, or I think he's almost 80. It's kind of like, oh no, like because at that age, sometimes one little thing and then they go downhill. So I was glad to see him show up on Sunday, and let's hope that he didn't get any con crud. He's had so many cons. I'm sure he's used to it, but you never know when people are that old. My parents are that old. So
when you're flying, connecting flights. You're in that plane, and like I was in 3 different plane rides on my round trip, and then I had my work convention butt up right next to the Joe Fest. So a lot of people, and I'm feeling it. Yeah, dude. Hopefully your connection was better, but yeah. But yeah, no, I'm glad I ran into you at the airport. Out of the way, woman. Don't you know who I am? I'm Joe Hunter. I need to get my flight. Hey,
I
we
don't
got
know why.
Joe Fan 84
Hey, guy.
in here.
What's up, Joe fan?
Joshua.
And we're finally caught up. Oh, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not good.
Well, so far he's okay.
Yeah,
So
so far,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Prayers to you, Joe Fan. Joshua, keep us updated on that. And hopefully we get to see you next year at Joe Fest. Yeah, it's we got a little feedback. Sorry, guys. We're just gonna have to fight through it tonight. But
Be
it's all
tough.
good.
Be tough.
So I don't have any mail call this week because I had such a short turnaround to do this show. And we have no news other than the Kickstarter news that Josh is going to bring us here in a second. But real quick, we're going to do a little show and tell. We're not going to show off everything that we got at Joe Fest because this would be a 3-hour show, and we don't do 3-hour shows. I can't do 3-hour show. Casey, what do you got?
I'll just show off 2 things. One, I had to get it. Delta 17, the exclusives.
Yeah, you had to if you were there.
I mean, come on, that camo is so good.
Yep.
So that scratched my O-ring itch. Now
That's what the show's about, man.
What's
got
that? Oh,
my Dr. Rand. But the reason to get Dr. Rand is right here. Now I have Dr. Venom.
Yeah.
So basically, head swap and boom, you got a classified Venom. Is that what we're?
I got a classified Dr. Venom.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they put it in there because they knew guys like me would buy it for that.
That's what you guys were talking about on the chat like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
That whole monster. Okay, all right.
Monster Force is awesome. I hate to say it. I wish I
Wrong
hated
scale.
I mean,
Wrong scale for me, bro.
you've seen my comments in our chat, and I just can't go down that rabbit hole. I wish I could because yes, Monster Force and Skeletron are sick.
Yeah, I agree there.
I actually picked up both.
He did. I was with him when he did it. He's like, Wes, come with me. I need your help.
Oh, nice. That was a good show. And you may have heard my voice on there.
Which one?
At Joe Fest, we
Chaplin's.
recorded Chaplin's Assistant Motor Pod with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah. Danny, you got anything to show off?
Oh, I got a couple things. I obviously didn't go to Joe Fest, so
All right.
for me, right? But I wanted to show this off real quick. Got a new sticker from this guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Jetman hooked me up. Look, guys, I got a lot of real estate here. You can send me some stickers.
You would have covered that at Joe
I'll
Fest.
send you the new one.
I know,
It's,
right? Yeah, I got
It's
the old one.
shiny.
Got that one.
Yep.
I got some cool ones, but yeah, that's going to be a background once I get her full. But I know you guys were in the chat when Max was talking about that $20 Ghostbusters thing on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bought one. Another one.
Yeah.
You know, you can't help it. Cats and dogs living together.
Mass
Mass
hysteria.
hysteria. Couldn't pass that up. And then I didn't buy this, but I did just open it because I got into I've been dealing with some stuff here, and I was kind of in like just a weird spot. And I'm like, I'm going to open some toys. Open this guy up.
See,
Oh, no.
I wish I liked both those movies, but I don't like either one of them.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, and I respect that. That's fine, but I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a great O rating.
Good.
I mean, for Joe's like not having the like Super 7 gets the whole not sculpted correct, but for this is perfect. I love this. I keep hearing Huey Lewis Back in Time when I have this in my hand.
Back in time.
Yeah. That's all I've got, man. Like I said, I've been pretty busy this week, so.
Real quick, let's say hi to a real American hero.
And he is correct. Legends of the Hidden Force is really cool.
Do you guys have the Hidden Force figures? Did you pre-order them, or did you do the Kickstarter or whatever?
I did, yes.
All right, so you have them in hand. Are they good?
Only
Okay.
one I've opened so far. I really like them.
All right, cool.
I picked up 4 of them too.
Well, I did the whole pre-order when they were available to the public.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got them yet, but I'm pretty excited for those. So,
I like them a lot.
okay, cool.
Hope you had fun at the beach there, Joshua.
I do recommend the Legends of the Hidden Force stands
Okay,
Yeah.
because they're combat stands.
really? Okay.
Yes, they elevate
What's-
the figure.
Well, what sucks is I can't remember which 4 I bought. I went on there and bought them, and I know the one I wanted was sold out,
Shinobi.
Shinobi. So I bought 4 of the other ones, and I was like,
Yeah,
I
he
can't
sold
remember which
out.
ones they were.
He sold out quick at Joe Fest. He's gone like that.
And they look cool as hell, but it's one of those situations where I like to have them in hand to kind of see.
Mhm.
You know, like the Rise of Nexus. I don't know if you guys saw him at Joe Fest or not. I hope so.
I did.
Yeah.
I went full tilt on his stuff.
What's up,
Oh,
Crash?
What's up,
So,
Crash?
But he already sent me a figure, so I know what they're going to be like. So I'm pretty psyched about that. Omen. Which one's Omen? Does anyone know which one's Omen?
It's kind of hard to explain what they look
Is
like.
it
I know
is it the white one with the green hood? Which
I
one's
do
that
not
one?
think so. I don't think it's
Okay.
that one.
I can't.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But-
Max.
What's up, Max?
Max, what's up, pal?
It's awesome.
And Mr. J Dub's in the house. Otherwise,
Nice.
Joe A-Rod. How the heck are you, Joe?
So just for real quick for the chat, man. this
Paul
jumping around
Morales.
some of you may not see someone in the chat. That's because we're streaming on 2 different channels. Just a heads up. on that. What's up, Paul? All right, Joshua, you got anything to show off? 1 or 2 things?
So I'm an anomaly, right? Because I'm a huge Joe fan and I do not collect toys, but I collect comics and I collect this very unique stuff. So this is a comic book from Turkey
Oh,
That's
nice.
called Super Joe. Most people have never seen it.
Are they smaller in Turkey?
You got it. They're digest size. So I got those. And then here's another really unique one. I don't know if you guys can read that, but that would be in Arabic.
It says G.I. Joe at the top. I can read that.
Yep. Yeah. So it's an Arabic comic, likely produced in Egypt. We've still not been able to confirm where it is, but it's in Arabic. So it reads backwards because they write right to left. Same thing in Israel. I got an Israel one,
Wow.
which is a little hardcover digest, and it's actually in the interior is animation cells.
That's cool.
So it's very different. And then I got a whole bunch. I got a few from Finland and Denmark. So again, these are all like just reprints of American ones. And then I got a France one. This one's really rare. Oh, there's a glare. There we go.
Ooh.
And then an actual modern one that I got is this one. So this was released in the Rise of Cobra time, and it's a magazine. It's original story that was connected to the movie, and it came with a toy. I already have the toys, but it was like I saw it there, and I was like, I better get that because I already have it. But it's a rare one, but it was like a junk comic in the UK, but it's collectible over here. Most people don't even know about any of these things. So that's the stuff that I got at Joe Fest.
Man, that's really
badass,
cool.
man. Those little tiny turkey ones were fun.
Yeah.
What booth was that at, or were they all at different booths?
It was actually a collector who I know who brought them to me, and I was able to buy them from him. This one, which was the Rise of Cobra, I got from Mark Seaton of Talking Joe. But yeah, it was one of those things where like I went through all the booths and was like, well, I have all of these because, you know, as you can see in the background for your viewers, this is my comic collection, and it's all G.I. Joe or Action Force or what I call adjacent sometimes. And it's about 7,000 comics.
Holy Nikes.
And, you know, I mean, it's everything from 82 to current, except for Skybound has been killing me because it's really hard to get all of their alternative covers. But up until issue number 300 at the end of IDW, I pretty much have everything domestic. And I'm always on the hunt for international ones, like I just showed off, which is what I'm always in contact with people trying to. And actually, I don't have one on the table, but there are Skybound. Check this out. So there are Skybound hardcover trade paperbacks on the shelves in France, Italy, and Spain. So you can go to a bookstore and buy them in these other languages. Again, like, you know, everybody's always hunting for international toys. Well, I hunt for international comics. And so I got people over there buying them off the shelf for me, and then they send them to me. So, yeah, like I said, I collect very differently than most G.I. Joe people.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
Everybody's got their kink, baby. Everybody's got their kink.
That's right. Exactly.
Yours is paper, ours is plastic. It's
Yep.
Or I do both. So
or both. Yeah.
Right.
Casey's a rabbit hole enthusiast.
Oh, absolutely. Casey, I got to ask you, you got any good wrestling figures lately? Any new ones?
I picked up.
He went to WrestleFest at Joe Fest.
I picked up Ric Flair while I was down there, the old AEW Ric Flair with the pink robes and the.
Yes.
I got that. I was pretty happy.
Off subject real quick. Do you follow KWK Brand on Instagram? Okay, you need to follow him because he does newer versions of like the Hasbro wrestling guys. Like he's got like Dory Funk Sr. and Jr. as like the old Hasbro, what are they, 5-inch plastic guys? You know what I'm talking about, like Brutus and Rick Rude. You know what I'm saying, right?
These are the Hasbros.
Yes, like those guys. Yeah,
my Sergeant Slaughter's pristine.
He does like ones that were never done, and they're like legit.
Cool.
Like Greg the Hammer Valentine, stuff like that. It's KWK Brand. So
I wrote that down.
Yeah, take a look at it. Plus, he's getting ready to release some O-ring wrestler guys.
Okay.
So
that'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, it was that guy we talked about a couple shows ago. He's doing the O-rings in the wrestling, like Jake the Snake and a couple, I think Macho 4 or 5, Macho Man. But he does, his actual thing is the old Hasbro
that's cool.
wrestler guys.
That's cool. All right, real quick before we get to the subject, let me show off what I got in case you decided to steal mine. All right. Of course, I got 3 of these bad boys. This is one of them.
I bet everybody walked away with one of those, didn't they?
Yeah. And then this bad boy.
Nice.
Yeah, I got that too.
I have yet to open anything up from Joe Fest, but hopefully by Friday I can do that.
Did you see Swordsman's comment?
Paper or plastic?
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah. Oh, where'd Josh go? Yeah, Skystorm is awesome. It's really cool. Can't resist that chrome.
Well, Nate, you never know, buddy.
Yep. All right, Josh, tell us what's going on in your world. I do have I have those pictures you sent me on Messenger. I think there was 4 or 5 of them. And then I do have the website pulled up, the Kickstarter website. Let me actually pull that up real quick.
So, for the fans who might not know me, just I'll do a quick interview or of who I am. So I'm Josh Eggebein. In the Yojo days, way back when, I used to be known as Antarctica on any forums, if anybody was around back then. And that was also his tank and things like that. Many of them aren't around, but everybody had their handle. So I was Antarctica. And for about 2004 or 5 till 2018, I was the Yojo senior editor of the comic book section. So if you look at the comic book section of Yojo, that was my work. I wrote a lot of the summaries, not all of them. Ted Skinny Jacobson wrote a lot of them, but I built the pages. So that's how long I've been in the community, and that's how much I've just been focused on comics. Like Terry Dizzard and Phil Donnelly, they did the toy section, and then of Yojo, and I was the comic section.
You're talking about yojo.com, correct?
Yes, yojo.com, yes.
Which
of course, the story with that is that in 2018, they kicked the 3 of us off, and then they haven't done anything since then, so it hasn't been updated, and I don't have the ability to update it. So in 2020, I got a call from an old friend named Roger Taft, who was like, hey, you want to do a project that'll take a year? And of course, that's right when the COVID was shutting everything down. So everybody was like, well, what else can we do? And so we created this comic book guidebook series called After Action Report. You just go to the single screen. So this is a quick little card that we had made that has all of our I can't really see. Oh, this way. So anyway, at this point we're at 8 books. And there are 2 there's 5 books that are in the comic series. They cover the comics from that would be the first printing of the Marvel era. That is showing there, and then we have a Devil's Due era, and we have a with a really cool cover from Larry Hama of the Volume 3, which is the IDW era. What is that? So you can see, we asked Larry to do a cover, and he came up with that with those guys in Vietnam. Is freaking kick-ass. And then Brian Shearer did the back cover, and we got a little Don Marino in the middle. That white foot. Then we did a book on the history of number 21. If you're a fan, even if you're just a toy fan, everybody knows 21. Silent issue. My joke is I wrote an 80-page book on a 22-page comic that has no words. And then we also did a book on the crossover between Transformers and G.I. Joe, which of course is eventually they'll make a movie at some point. So that crossover. But the main thing to talk about is command files. So we actually have two books that are already finished. Written by Greg Augustin. It was his passion, just like many people, they do these passions when they're kids and they turn them into adults to make profiles. So the Command File series, I'm the editor of it, is all profiles of the characters. So like this one is Kamakura.
Oh, I like him.
Right. So it's a 2-page spread, and then we get all kinds of things. I have never turned to a ninja page. So there's all kinds of profiles, and it has, unfortunately since most of you guys are toy guys, there's no toy references in any of these books, but it's all about the comics. And what I like to say is that G.I. Joe is about the characters first.
Absolutely.
As much as Hasbro's a toy company, and you can never win the argument that it's not a toy first. I think for our generation, Real American Hero, what Larry did, creating the characters' names and backgrounds, and then of course the comic stories, is what has kept G.I. Joe alive for us now as mostly Gen X middle-aged guys. and why there's 10,000 people showing up at Joe Fest. But so that's kind of my history in the GI Joe community as mostly a comic guy. Like I said, I have my toys from when I was a kid, and occasionally I buy a new one, like my Don Marino supposed to arrive. I thought I'd show that off, but it didn't show up yet. I bought that one. That's a comic book character. It's like Shooter, and I kind of buy those kind of toys, and it's really great that they're turning around. All right, so. And that's my history. So right now, I have a Kickstarter going. It only has 8 days left, and it's for Command Files 3 Cobra. So the ones I just showed off were the entire GI Joe team. So that's like 300 character profiles in the first 2 volumes. The third volume is all Cobra, and at this point now, we're pushing over 300 characters to be in the book, but about 75% of them would be like a Viper or a Cobra vehicle driver or a soldier or something like that has never really appeared anywhere, but has a toy and has a file card. And like the premise of the Command Files series is that it's all the file card information and then kind of where they show up in other media and stuff like that, like, comics and cartoons and movies and video games. And then what is shown on the screen right there is our Mark Pennington cover. So that's he hasn't started coloring it yet, but we actually have 3 wraparound covers that cover that go 1, 2, 3 in a row, and we're gonna have a cool poster, which is the current stretch goal. The campaign is already fully funded for the Cobra book. It was funded in 12 hours, and we're at our 4th stretch goal. A lot of previous backers backed it right away and helped us be very successful. And we're obviously looking for new people that have not backed it before because, we want these books in as many Joe fans' hands as we can. And you can buy on the
right there.
Right? Like, look at that crazy ass file card. So those kind of characters, all that information that's on that file card will be transcribed into the book. We don't actually do I could show if you can make the page big. So this is kind of the profile so that they have, each character will have a full picture and then a biography, right here, and other issues. And then there's, we do it this way too.
And so here's the art in the book, Josh.
So some of it has been custom art that we had, like this one. This is a Don Marino, and you can see sometimes we split it into two characters on page. But this is Don Marino. It was actually done by Nito Diaz before he was a famous Marvel artist. So we have sometimes we have commissioned art. Sometimes it's art that we have found. But for the 2 previous books, we spread it out around 10 different artists. But for the Cobra book, we're using Jamie Sullivan's art from issue number 300, where he got a Guinness Book World Record issue. So he did all those Cobra characters individually. So we're going to use a majority of his artwork from that cover individually, not as one big cover, for the interior art. And then of course, I do have one announcement to make, that if anybody already has our book, whatever, is that Brian Sauer of Assembly Required, who is an amazing artist and has helped out with pretty much every Kickstarter around or whatever. That's the file cards for Greg. That's Greg right there on the screen. He's the main guy, and then there's me. I was going parachute jumping, so I wore my Cobra shirt. In that photo, it's become kind of popular now. They're like, "Oh my God, you're gonna jump out of a plane in a Cobra shirt." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" That right there on the screen is kind of the page layout of for Cobra. It's going to look a little different than what I was just showing on camera, because Cobra's a different organization. Well, it's a terrorist organization, first of all, so they don't really follow military protocol. The first 2 volumes of the book were structured as military tends to do. And then now with Cobra, we're kind of like, all right, well, how do we keep the same? And then and so we asked Brian Sauer to help us out with that. So that's really great. And like I said, this has been Greg Augustine's, like when he was like 13, he was like drawing these little profiles, Yeah, that's great. And and just like all of us, we're like, we love G.I. Joe. And it's like, it never goes away. And so then for about in like 2013 on his Instagram, which is G Unit 2472, he started posting his little profiles that he was making, and he always likes to say I was doing it as mental therapy, as a hobby. And so then about 5 years ago, him and I connected, and I was like, dude, these would make amazing after action report books. And he was kind of like, he's like, you know what? I had a kind of a dream that I was going to be able to try to make these into a book. Because I had no idea how to do it. And so then we became quick friends and quick partners to make the books. And so now we're on the third one.
That's awesome.
And Cobra is its own thing, so it's really exciting. It's been fun making these books. Greg's great, and the idea is the Kickstarter will end in a few days, and then the book will probably be available sometime next year. Sometimes these Kickstarters you can get the book done right after, but this one is going to take a little bit longer because we're kind of making it more from scratch. Like the other ones, we had a template, but G.I. Joe and Cobra, they're very different.
Well, I remember. Go ahead, Casey.
I said Cobra's better.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely more entertaining.
Yeah.
I do remember because I think I did that first one, two books that I showed. Like I remember funding, backing it, and like it. Just out of nowhere, they arrived.
Yeah.
It didn't take long. So it's definitely a Kickstarter that, will be delivered less than a year after you've backed it. So for anyone out there that hasn't backed it, like Josh is saying, it's looking sometime early next year.
It's a lot quicker than some.
Yeah. So
we learned that lesson really quickly. Like I said, I think this is our 11th Kickstarter now. They've all been very successful. And, we had a couple books that got delayed, but that was something else. That was another issue. But we solved that problem. And since then, they've all been within basically 6 to 8 months from the end. On the creative side, you want to get it right, but you want to get it fast. But, we're able to put these books together pretty quickly and pretty well. I mean, this one I think is about 40% already made, and then Brian's going to come in and help us out, really kind of get it a little bit more, better looking, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Because I said we wanted to try to do something different on the Cobra side, because it doesn't need to be military precise,
right?
So just Google the Kickstarter, Command Files Kickstarter, After Action Report, G.I. Joe. That it should come up real easy. And then the website is afteractionreport.net, where you can actually buy any of the previous books, and then they will mail sooner than if you get them through the Kickstarter. But you can get them either way. And for the record, if you buy extra books in the Kickstarter, like all in or add-ons, those will mail in August. Command Files 3 would then be the only book that you would be outstanding. So you can't get them through the Kickstarter, and they'll mail in August. If you do it in the website, it pretty much mails right away. That's just me on the other side saying, oh, there's an order. Okay, I'll put them in the box and send them out. Oh, yeah, right on the front there is the trivia and activity book. I didn't talk about that, but where is it at here? That was here somewhere. Oh, yeah. So this is the newest book that came in May. And it's 2,000 questions or more. I don't actually even know. On G.I. Joe Comics, there's mazes and word finds in there. So pretty fun little book, and you can learn the intention is to learn a lot about G.I. Joe Comics if you don't know. Like most people know some about the Marvel comics, but it's at least 3 questions per issue from Devil's Due, IDW, Skybound, and of course Marvel. So that is the quick. So now you know, and we all know the rest of the phrase.
Yes. So this book, Command Files 3, is that going to be characters from just the Marvel or
No,
IDW and
everything, including like Collectors Club characters. You know, like all those crazy Billy Bob Dreadnought that was in the 2000s. We've been scouring the internet looking for like Vipers that appeared in or that were like the from the Collectors Club and from 2005 and 2006 that everybody has forgotten about, trying to make sure that all those are in there. Of course, like I guess there was just a new one announced like a couple of days ago during Yojo June. I didn't remember the name, but we're so obviously there's new Vipers coming out, and we'll stick those in there probably at the very back of the book. The Skybound era, Energon Universe characters, we will do a page for them. Mostly just showing off what they kind of look like, because there's no file card or background between them, and the Energon Universe obviously are based on 80s and cartoons, because that's what they tend to be more focused on. You get a lot more Cobra Law and stuff. Right. So Cobra Law is in there. Like all the Python Patrol characters will be in there. We're actually putting 2 pages, one for Destro in his silver helmet, and one for Destro as the leader of the Iron Grenadiers. You know what I mean? So like stuff like that. Like characters like Storm Shadow, and Wade Collins, who kind of flip flop from one to one. They kind of get their character, their Cobra profile in Cobra, and then they get a G.I. Joe profile that we did in Cobra in number 2. So Storm Shadow's in both books, of course, because he's a crossover. Wade Collins gets there. Even did a little bit of fun finagling with Mercer. Obviously, most of the time he's always a Joe, but he's also a Cobra, and in the Skybound Cobra. So we've decided to include him as a Joe, and he is contributing to the book in a fictional way as Mercer's intel reports. So, and then we're also doing the structure of the book is it's like Chuckles giving a whole review of Cobra to Hawk, to General Hawk. It's like a report. So there's a little bit of fiction added to it, to each book. The first ones, the Joe ones, were, I don't know if you guys know the character Senator Wendy Ling Torres. She's a senator in the IDW era who gets brainwashed by Cobra, and she's actually a senator, and she gets elected. And so the context of the report, the fictional report in Command Files 1 and 2, is her Senate report. So it's pretty clever stuff in there like that, to kind of explain. So instead of just like doing straight up, like because you have to explain all this stuff when you write a book, right? Like you can't just show pictures, you know what I mean? So that's all Greg's work. He come up with all of that stuff and wrote all that, and so yeah, like I was saying earlier, like the G.I. Joe is all about the characters, and as we keep going along, that's why we buy them and why we love them, and Larry keeps making them, and I was hoping to have Don Marino's toy here, but I guess it didn't arrive yet, or maybe it's on my doorstep and I didn't check. But that's the kind of character that I think now that a lot of toy guys will have in their hand because they're collecting, they're going to be like, well, let me learn more about this character. And of course, then they have to go to the comics.
Right.
So, that's been my focus. And you know what I mean? It's like, I always like to try to argue that, that G.I. Joe is a character or comic first, and I lose it every time. Because it is a toy first.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was comics, not cartoon.
Right. Yeah.
See, I was cartoon and then got into the comics, so I got a lot of those early '90s comics that are kind of
right.
But I am infatuated with Kamakura, Sean Collins.
Yeah.
And I had to learn about him through comics. So
yeah. And in the IDW continuity, he's known as Throwdown. So it's like
Throwdown, right?
whichever direction you go, you're in the Devil's Due area, you get one version of him. In the IDW area, you get another version of him. I mean, they've made toys of Kamakura, but they haven't made a Throwdown toy yet.
No,
So
they haven't.
that might be next, maybe a couple years from now or something. But
No, they won't ever do that.
Well, it'd be easy. Just take your Snake Eyes,
yeah,
put Throwdown on there.
right.
True, you're right.
Change
Right.
the mask to match what it looks like in the comic, and yeah, because he was Snake Eyes in disguise for about 30, 40 issues. Well, Snake Eyes was dead. Yeah. So again, afteractionreport.net, if you want to buy the books right away, go to the Kickstarter for Command Files 3 and back the book. There's only 8 days left, so fully funded, guaranteed to get the book. Thank you guys, and thank you backers. I mean, all these different Kickstarters happen all the time that G.I. Joe's making, or G.I. Joe fans, like the Brian Hickey over in the UK doing, Action Force, and of course Carson with his book, and Dan Kay with his book, and with my books. Like, even then you go further back, you get James Cavanaugh and Mark Bellamo, and so there's a whole lot of G.I. Joe books out there, and they all kind of cover everything. But I think by the time we all get to be in our 70s and stop making books, the G.I. Joe will be as documented as can be. About the only thing left is a cartoon book. Nobody's done that. Well, that's not true. There was those field manuals, but it wasn't per episode.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to make a cartoon book, give me a pitch. I could probably figure out how to make it.
Yeah. With these, with the Kickstarter, what are some of the tiers that you get that are unlocked already?
So the ones that are unlocked are so we have a tradition with all of our books, because every book has a custom cover artwork. So we get 8x11 prints of those. So this would be Mark Pennington's Cobra version. And then as the second stretch goal, we've included prints from all the previous ones. So if you didn't get the previous ones, you can get that, which, and then the third one is Greg has, as not only is the writer of the book, but he's his own artist. And this is where he was posting, and posts a lot of his art on the Instagram, the G Unit Instagram. And so he is in the original, for Command Files 2, he created the heads of G.I. Joe characters in a modernized form, so like with, the night vision goggles that pop down, they have like 4 things and, all that kind of cool gear. So he had created that. So we printed that out as 8x11. So, but now he's doing a Cobra one. And then the fourth one is going to be a poster. So it's going to be all 3 covers, because the way the covers were created, it's like one image. So it goes volume 1, volume 2, and then volume 3 Cobra. So they're all connected. We'll make a poster of that, which will actually fold in quarters and can fit in. And then the final stretch goal is so we've had a dust jacket. Oh, I thought I had it here. No, I don't have it here. That was created by Jamie Sullivan. I don't know how well you all know artists, but he's a really popular artist who's done a lot of covers. And he recently got a Guinness Book of World Record by putting like 300 characters on a cover. He beat the Deadpool wedding one. And so he did a dust jacket for us, and we've done 2 different versions of it. And now we're adding a third, so he's going to add Cobra characters. So it'll be the final one at 300,000, or not 300,000. Sorry, that's an extra 0. Yeah, let's get to 300,000. 30,000. The 30,000. The 30,000. No, the 300,000 Kickstarter. Yeah, we're going to make that. No, we're not that. We're not in Carson, Texas area. We're usually 30,000 is our maximum for the book, which is great. It's fine. It works. But it's going to be that dust jacket. So that'll be our final stretch goal, which right now, I think we're only like 9,000 away, and we got 9 days. And of course, there's always a spike at the end, and you do more marketing and everything at the end. So we should make 30,000 pretty easy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I haven't done a Kickstarter since I felt like I've been burned on a few. But yeah. But this one, I mean, I don't know. I've done Kickstarters from you guys in the past. You guys always deliver.
Yep.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a newbie to all this. I didn't know any of this until Wes sent me the link on what we were talking about. So I did some research. I'm 100% going to go get involved. I think
Sweet.
I don't have the first ones, but I'm going to get them because I think they're awesome. And this Cobra one looks badass.
Yeah, for sure.
In theory, Cobra is generally more popular than GI Joe. I think, you know, obviously the brand name is above Cobra, but like the characters, I think most of the, you know, you did a top 10 list, I bet you more than half would be Cobra
Yeah.
characters.
For sure. I know mine would.
Everybody loves anti-heroes, man. So
Yeah. And you know, I mean, the it's so interesting because I don't know if you guys know the history of how Cobra started, but when Hasbro came to Marvel, Marvel was like, well, who are the bad guys? And Hasbro was like, we don't have any bad guys. We're just gonna make, you know, military characters. And Archie Goodwin, who had nothing to, is a really famous editor with Marvel and a lot of really amazing stories, things that had nothing else to do with GI Joe, but he was in that meeting and he goes, well, why don't we make some bad guys? Because, you know, they're comic guys. Comic guys always got a bad guys. And let's call them Cobra. Larry was in that meeting and he's like, yeah, great. And so then, you know, all of a sudden Hasbro was like, well, now we got to make bad guys. And then you get Cobra Commander as a mail away at first because he was so further down the line that, and then they, you know, made the officer and the soldier. And that's why there's not that many Cobra characters. Why no Baroness right away, even though she's like almost on the first page of the first comic, on the second page or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Like Larry made her up, and then they're like, all right, let's make the Baroness a toy. You know, so she's a comic character first. But like literally, Marvel was like, well, why don't you have any bad guys? You know what I mean? And so that's, you know, part of the history of Cobra, that it wasn't a Hasbro creation, it was a Marvel creation. Obviously, they owned the license. Hasbro was licensing out, so Marvel couldn't claim ownership on any of the Cobra characters, but in theory, they are comic characters first. If you think about it, in the origin of G.I. Joe and Cobra, the entire organization of Cobra is a comic first. Then that's kind of the history of where Cobra came from. One guy in a meeting says, why don't we just call him Cobra? Okay. Everybody was on board, and you know, it worked out.
It worked out pretty damn well, didn't it?
Yeah, I know. Like, especially your logo behind there, you know. And then they started getting all these crazy Vipers, and you know, it was like that's the Alley Viper colors, and it was awesome, like orange and blue, right? I mean, like, yeah, as ridiculous as some of those colors are, like I don't know how that's an urban camo thing, but
I don't either. But it's a badass figure.
It is. And that's actually one of the things we're really trying to do for the Cobra book is track down where all these Vipers have appeared, because sometimes they've only appeared once in like a background shot of the comic. Yeah. And so like we got 3 or 4 comic experts who are digging through their collections and stuff like that to like look at every page and see what was missed. Because I mean, like I was doing the Yojo website, but I wasn't like logging every appearance of every little thing, you know what I mean? So we're kind of having to go back and do that, and you know, they're reporting in, yeah, you know, this Viper appeared on this page, you know, it's like once.
Well, with me and the Alley Viper, like the first time I saw an Alley Viper was Operation Dragonfly.
Okay.
So he's a badass in that, right?
Yep.
Crimson Guard promoted to Alley Viper. So I'm thinking this guy's some, you know, just some badass Viper. Then I start reading the comics, right? It's just they're just in the background. They're just like Vipers, but they're orange and blue with a face mask. You know,
they do appear on one cover. I know that. The Alley Viper is like. I happen to have the book here, so I can find it. plug. Go to After Action Report and get the Marvel Volume 1, and you can figure out which cover. It's like in the 120s or something, like Cobra Commander. When they're invading the pit, and the Alley Viper.
Yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about.
The Alley Viper's on the cover. Let me see if I can find it here. That's always the trick. Yeah, you know, you write the book on it, you got to remember. But I can remember it was on the cover. So
to me, that's my favorite Cobra. So I know I'm going to get some disgruntled looks there. but
Huh? Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's number 130.
It's all good,
Oh,
Danny.
is that
All
an
good.
alley viper? Oh no, maybe it's a saw viper and toxo viper.
oh no, it's with Cobra Commander in the back.
Yeah, I thought it was an alley viper on there, but
No, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
it's number 130. So whatever. But they're sometimes they so that this is the design of the guidebooks for the comics, so it shows all the different variants and versions, and then you can look it up and be like, oh wait a minute, our memories were all wrong. There's an orange character on there, but I don't know. He's orange and blue, but with a gray head, but not the camo. So
Yeah, that happened a lot too. I noticed there were some Vipers that were like miscolored in a lot of them.
yeah, maybe
They were
that is an
background
alley
characters.
viper that's missed.
That happened in Sunbow as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes the skin
For
color
sure.
of a guy was changed for a split second.
Or Dr. Mindbender of no pants, just shorts.
Yeah, I do remember, and I can't remember, Josh, if this was one of the tiers in the first volume, but the after action manual guide, the field manual guide, and
So
go ahead.
yeah, that was a exclusive for the first two. It was like a very thin, like little guidebook that you could take to conventions. Yes, so it was a saddle stitch staple.
Checklist.
Yeah, and we thought, we were like, okay, let's. But at this point now, we've looked at making one of a quick one like that, and it's like, okay, it's about 40 pages. So, but that was just an original stretch goal for that. We don't do that one anymore. So if you have that, it's actually maybe collectible. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, it has the key first appearances of the DDP.
Oh yeah, we did one for. You're right. We did one for both of them, volume 1 and volume 2.
So it just kind of looks like that.
Yeah, it's real thin. It's like maybe 10 pages or something like that.
Oh, nice. That's kind of cool.
It was as small as we could make it, and we kind of tossed in some stuff. And yeah, that was one of the stretch goals of the volume 1 and volume 2. Maybe
All right.
I can find a way to make something like that. But anyway.
So school me on this real quick. So
Okay.
after Marvel had it, it went to Devil's Due.
So yes, technically, it went to Image Comics and / Devil's Due, and then because this is 2001, and by the way, our world changed on September 11th, 2001. But then our world as G.I. Joe changed on September 12th, 2001, when the G.I. Joe comics hit the shelf on a Wednesday, comic day, right after that, awesome, terrible event that happened. So basically when our world changed, and that brought G.I. Joe back. Josh Blaylock with number 1 brought back G.I. Joe, and then the 25th anniversary was a few years later with the toys, and so all of a sudden we had G.I. Joe back in our lives when it had been gone for 7-8 years. So that's a big monument. So when it came out on September 12th, it was Image Comics, and then about 3 years later it switched to Devil's Due Publishing, but Devil's Due was making it. So you are correct to call it the Devil's Due era, but technically, so that was the second. Image Comics was the second publisher. Devil's Due is the third publisher, and then it left Devil's Due and went to IDW. So IDW was the fourth publisher, and then it went back to Image Comics, which is now Skybound. They're the same. So technically, it's on its fifth publisher, if you count Skybound and Devil's Due.
What about Dark Horse?
Right, that one's in there too. You can count that. That would be 6, but that wasn't the same continuity.
No.
Okay, so Dark Horse even had it at one time.
Yep.
They
had it. Go ahead, Casey.
It's a different form of G.I. Joe, but they had G.I. Joe.
Okay. Yeah, it's the Extreme Toys. If you ever collected the Extreme Toys, they had 8 issues of comics kind of connected to that.
We'll slide those over. Just go ahead and get those out.
Yeah, swipe left. But Yeah.
with the Devil's Due stuff, the Image stuff that came after Marvel, and I don't know this for fact, but my consensus from what I've read is that's almost like non-canon.
So
Is that true?
it when it came out in 2001, it was 100% a continuation of 155, right? So 155 ended in 1994 with Hama as the writer. 2001 starts with G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, written by Josh Blaylock. Same continuity.
Okay.
Then that ran until 2008 when Devil's Due lost the license, and then it went to IDW, and there was like a dormant period of about 2 years in there. And then IDW, and they did this with Transformers also, restarted the continuity with number 155 and a half as a free comic book, and then 157 with Hama as the writer. So that essentially,
okay.
this is where you're correct in that it's now the official title is, for all the Devil's Due stuff, is called Disavowed. And this was a Hasbro term that they used, and it's just like happens in comics. It's an alternate universe. So everything created, which includes Kamakura.
Kamakura, yeah, he's in there.
Right? He's an alternate character. That's why he's now Throwdown in the Real American Hero. And
Right.
that's
I knew Larry had picked him and then like redone his origin through that Devil's Due.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the same Sean Collins, but he's a different story on the ninja side. So he's Sean Collins up until 155, because I don't know if you guys remember, but the last issue of 155 is literally Sean Collins writing a letter to Snake Eyes about joining the army.
Yeah.
And then he so he's a character that's, I think, like appears in like, early 10 or 12 or no, I think 32. I think he appears in 32 and then disappears as a little kid, like maybe 10 or 12. And then he doesn't really appear again. But there's that one point when Fred, which is Wade Collins, his sister Heather, and the mother, who doesn't really have a name, all beat up Spirit. So he beat up Spirit as a kid, and then became went into the military based off of a letter from Snake Eyes.
From Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Which I knew all that happened. That's kind of where I was at, because I've never read anything past Marvel.
Right.
Everything I know about is just from stuff I've read online. So.
Yeah, and it's the Sean Collins character has a really convoluted history, so it's hard to keep it straight. But it's kind of also the nature of comics, right? I mean,
right.
All comics tend to just rewrite things all and do different things here and there, and multiple universes or whatever like that. So Devil's Due is considered disavowed. And that also the Devil's Due includes G.I. Joe Declassified, Snake Eyes Declassified, Scarlet Declassified, and Dreadnoks Declassified. So those origins there are all disavowed. But Larry Hama, being Larry Hama, has said that the stuff that he likes to write that he wrote in the Devil's Due era, which is G.I. Joe Declassified and that Storm Shadow suit, he calls that part of his canon. But it's he's Larry. He can do whatever he wants, really. Yeah, but he has brought many characters from the Devil's Due era into the Real American Hero over the last 135 issues past 155. But he's tweaked them enough that they're a little bit different, and they're not exactly the same. So I think he gets the fact that fans are continuity driven. And comic, that's exactly what comic fans are. They care about the continuity. That's why Hollywood has sucked so much on many of their movies. They don't do anything with their continuity correctly, especially G.I. Joe. But
speaking of Hollywood, and real quick, hey, Mr. Jeff Butler, how you doing, sir? And 80s Joes, some guys jumping in here late. Speaking with Hollywood, you sent me that message, or I don't know, you sent me something on YouTube.
Yes.
And I didn't know who you were, or your username. And
Surprise.
I clicked on the video, and it was a video of someone interviewing the cast members of the G.I. Joe movie, and I'm like, dang it, that sounds like a young Josh from about 16, 17 years ago.
Yes. So I don't want to brag, but I
brag away, man.
let me, you know, as a person who has been in the G.I. Joe community a long time and done a lot, I actually am in the credits, and I worked on the movie Rise of Cobra. For about 15 years of my life, I worked on Hollywood movies, and my brother-in-law called me, who was hired me a lot, and said, I'm on a movie called Dark Sky, which was the code name for G.I. Joe, and I actually already knew that. So I got hired on the second unit for G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. So I was there for the whole opening sequence, working with like the vehicles and the guns firing and all the people, the soldiers dying, all that stuff. And then I got promoted to the first unit when second unit ended. So I was working in the studio on all the sets and everything like that, that were like the underground bases, the pit. So I've actually physically in my real life been on the pit. This is a whole nother episode. I don't know how much time we have left, but ultimately, yes, I was. I spent about 4 months of my life working on the G.I. Joe movie, and the entire time I had to keep it secret that I was not doing Yo Joe, because they would have probably kicked me off, thinking that I was giving away secrets, because it was a very secretive movie at the moment. And so that was like 2008, and the movie came out in 2009. So when that red carpet happened, I got invited to do the red carpet because the marketing department knew that I had worked on the movie, and then they had finally I had introduced myself to the marketing people. I was like, "Hey, I'm with Yo Joe, and I worked on the movie." Oh, so they let me be on the red carpet, and interview those, and I did edit it into the video, but most of the actors all remembered me. They're like, "Oh, you were on the movie." I was like, "Yes, I was. Like, come over here." So they would talk to me. So I was able to get good conversations out of them. But yes, I was a production assistant in the second unit of G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra.
That's awesome. I never knew that. So,
you know, surprisingly, I have not spent a lot of time talking about it. At some point, I would love to be on a podcast where I can just talk about like the memories of being on the set and everything like that. I've never had that, and I don't.
Bro, come on in. Come on, we'll do one. I'll do one.
Yeah,
let's do it.
We'll do another one.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to hear about that stuff.
Well, I mean, in 2009, and what is the Rise of Cobra coming up on? What, 12 years, 13 years now? We could do an anniversary episode, like the 13th anniversary of Rise of Cobra. Let's talk about it.
There you go. I'm down. I'll listen all day.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's schedule that for some time.
Yeah. So, what's your YouTube channel?
I'll have my
again?
guy call your guy.
Yeah. What's the YouTube channel again called?
It's Antarctica Joe. That was my like I said, that was what I was called back then. I kind of had to add Joe because Antarctica.
I think there's only 2 videos on there, but still, it's kind of interesting seeing, you know, it's a what do you call it? It's a square screen, not, you know, wide, but just seeing some of those actors that long ago, right? Like the young Storm Shadow, who was also on Tropic Thunder, who played the Flaming Dragon dude leader, the little boy. He was a good little interview for you on there. When you asked him about, before you did the movie, did you read any comics? And he was like, "I wasn't alive." Well, like, no shit, but you can go and pick them up at a comic book store.
What was so interesting about that movie is Hollywood decided to go a different direction. Instead of giving us, the 1980s toys look, they're like, let's go this other way. Let's give them something else. And it's not what we wanted. I mean, I think independently, Rise of Cobra, if it wasn't G.I. Joe, is actually a really good, fun movie. But when you look in the context,
as an action movie, that movie's not terrible.
Yeah.
But if you watch it as a G.I. Joe fan, you're like, what the man? Yes.
Bang, bang,
I-
bang, bang, bang.
100%. 100%. I agree. 100% with that.
So,
As an action movie, it's great.
so I will save these two stories, but I have two excellent onset stories regarding some of the bad stuff in that movie. I'll save that for a video when we want to do that.
Yeah, man.
But like I was there and I was like, what the fuck? Sorry, I know we're not supposed to. I know we're not supposed to cuss, but we're only allowed. You're allowed one, right?
That's
And
our one.
I
That's
was
it.
like,
We're not
holy
PG-13, Josh. We're PG-13.
all right, beep it out. But it's the same moment that everybody had when it appeared on screen. I just happened to be standing there in person. But yeah, that's one of my many things for GI Joe that I have contributed to the community as part of helping make that movie.
Dude, that's crazy. That's awesome. That is that's just awesome knowing you did that.
Yeah,
That's very
and
cool.
you know,
Yeah, we'll have to
again,
schedule-
that was my job. I worked on many big Hollywood movies as a production assistant, which is a low man on totem pole, like Die Hard 4, Spider-Man 2, Eagle Eye. The last movie I actually did was Thor.
Shut up. Eagle Eye is a great movie.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was one of my claim to fame is there's this Daniel Craig, Nicole Kidman movie. It's called Invasion. It's like a body snatcher movie where
Yeah.
they were in a car accident and got sent to hospital. I was like standing right there when it happened, so I got to see them, take Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman to the hospital. I mean, it's like a long lost Hollywood memory, but like she broke her ribs and stuff like that. And so, but I was there.
Yeah. That's
like,
awesome.
that's a
man.
real
I
story.
love Daniel Craig, man. Daniel Craig is such a badass.
Yeah, I think it was well before he was Bond.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just become Bond. But anyway,
if it was Invasion, it was for that.
yeah, that was like my about 12 years of my life, maybe 13, somewhere in there,
Yeah.
where I
That's
worked
awesome.
in Hollywood.
Very
So-
cool. Yeah, we'll have to schedule on another time.
All right.
So, real quick, again, Kickstarter, 8 days left. 8 days. It's fully backed. But if you haven't backed it, you want some of these books, back it.
I'm going to do it.
Where are you going to be at next? What are you going to be at Kentuckiana?
Me?
Yeah.
I live in California, so it's hard to make it out there.
Oh, yeah.
I think the next one is assembly required in November. I got a medium-sized one. It's called PowerCon out here in August. It's a Power Rangers show, but it's kind of like the anti-programming. Like it's all Power Rangers, and I'm the GI Joe show up. But this guy who runs a bunch of different conventions, so I'll probably do that one. But assembly required in November. Definitely be there.
Where is assembly required?
In Iowa and Des Moines.
Des Moines. Okay.
I don't have the dates, but it's early November.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar, but so Joe Fest is like massive, right? Like Joe Fest would be like the Super Bowl. Iowa would be like the conference playoffs if you had to use football terms, where it's like it's kind of smaller. It's not it's just more regional, right? So like if you you're playing in your own conference, you go to Iowa. And it's smaller, but the cool thing is they do amazing job of the community. So you guys were just at Joe Fest, and that feeling you get in the lobby at Joe Fest is more formalized with like events before and after the show and everything in Iowa. And Brian Sauer and Travis Moody run it, and they are great. And they do a lot of thematic stuff, like with artwork and games. Like there's this thing called Fans in Command. I think it just ended, where you can vote on characters they're going to draw. All this cool stuff. So that's my pitch for going to assembly required. Is the vendors? There's not that many vendors there, so it's not really that kind of show. Yeah, maybe you could find one thing you're looking for. Like Joe Fest, you could find anything you're looking for. It's all there. But you go for the community aspect of for assembly required. And I mean, they have a fair amount of vendors. I'm not trying to dissuade that, but that isn't the focus of the show. The focus is more the community and the events. I mean,
Is it Joe centric?
Oh
Is
yeah,
it GI
100%.
Joe centric? Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's only about 8 hours for me, so that's not out of the picture.
Well, I don't know if you have things to sell, but you can always get a table and set up a table and be like, "Here's my stuff to sell." Because unlike Joe Fest, Joe Fest, they kind of have to have a little bit more of a official setup. But there are a fair amount of people that just set up a table, kind of a banner, show and sell stuff. So you can get
at the lobby swap.
Yeah. I don't know if Assembly Require has an official lobby swap. They might. But the lobby swap at Joe Fest is like off the charts. Same thing in Dallas. The Dallas one is off the charts, but maybe they do. I can't remember. It's like I said, it's smaller, so I think everybody just has a table. There's some tables in the setup. But so that'll be my next the Assembly Required in November. So I basically hit all the big ones: SoCal Joe Show, Dallas, Joe Fest, and Assembly Required, and then do some shows here in Southern California. This is the difference between the East Coast and the West Coast, is that even though there's like way more people living in like Southern California, in all these areas, the Joe presence is much, much smaller, even though there's a shit ton of fans out here that travel to all these conventions. I mean, at Joe Fest, I probably saw 20 people that I'm like, yeah, we just saw each other in Dallas. We just saw each other in SoCal Joe Show, because SoCal Joe Show was beginning of May. So there are a lot of us that from out here in the West that go east, but you can't, it's kind of like you have to limit which ones you go to. And then you got to bring stuff either on the plane or ship it. But Kentuckiana is something that's maybe probably not anytime soon, but maybe on the radar.
Brother, it's getting bigger and bigger. This will be my 6th one, I think.
Yeah.
And it's gotten bigger every year. So
yeah, I think they'll outgrow this one soon.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they're probably gonna have to move soon.
Because this is the second location for it.
Yeah, this is number 2, and it's almost. I mean, for the summer one, the winter one's okay, but for that summer one, dude, it's almost too much already.
Yeah, and regional fans. There's always fans that go to all these shows. They're like, all right, I already got all the after action report books, but then you show up at these other conventions and like, I don't know you, or I heard about you. Let me get your books.
Yeah.
And then it makes it worth it to make the trip, not only for the personal connections, but also for the sales. Because, that's how you got to get there. The sales of the books fund the way to get there.
Well, I wanted to say the Kentuckiana had Ron Rudat last year. Am I wrong there, Casey?
No, he's been there twice.
Yeah. So, I mean, they do special guests and stuff. So, I mean, they're getting pretty big. I can't imagine them not being able to get to a spot where it's,
I think Daryl DePriest is there every year.
Yeah, just a little more convenient because I mean you've been there, so it's just like rooms. There's nowhere to talk, nowhere to hang out.
That's the bad part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the GI Joe community overall compared to other fandoms is quite small. You know what I mean? But we're pretty strong and connected.
Yeah.
So having conventions to go to hang out and connect is key part of our world.
Absolutely. Good Waffle House somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know right after the stream, I am going to get on there and I'm going to get that 3rd book.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, guys. We can't.
Yeah, I'm headed there to get the first ones.
Just like all the other authors out there that have made books, we can't make these books without Kickstarter. You know what I mean? The whole Kickstarter concept has allowed us authors to make these books because essentially it kind of covers the cost of printing and all the other things that in our modern world you can pay for on your own to get the books made, but you still got to have the money, and that's what Kickstarter is all about. You buy in advance and then it arrives.
Well, you got built-in fans. I mean, that's kind of nice.
Yes. At this point now, we have a lot of hardcore guys who are getting. Maybe there's one or two ladies, but mostly they're all guys. Are getting every book, and we can base our numbers on costs and everything based on that. There's at least 250 people out there that will back the book, and then every once in a while we get some new people, and then they're like, they get that book in their hand and they're like, oh my god. And by the way, Wes, when you showed your book, because you backed it so far, that is actually volume 1 first printing. We actually redid the first book because there was a lot of errors in it and new information and things like that. So there's actually a second printing. So
dude, that's a collector's item. Get Josh to sign it.
So send me your address and I'll mail you the second printing.
He lives in southern Indiana, Josh. I'll get you his address. Don't worry.
All right. Well. If you guys want, you can send me your address too. I'll send you a couple other books if you want. If you don't want to buy them all, it's complimentary for helping me out.
Oh, brother, I'll back it up. Don't worry. I'll
go for everybody in the chat. I'm just kidding.
Well, you find me on Facebook and you sign up to our Facebook group, which is After Action Report Guidebooks. You never know what I'll send you. I got a lot of free. We got a lot of free stuff that I give out. So.
I'm not on Facebook much, man. I'm an Instagram guy, but I'll jump on there.
Well, then Instagram Greg, and Greg will give me your information.
Yeah. All right. So we got the Kickstarter, and then don't forget, for any of the past books, go to afteractionreport.net.
But there is an option if you want, because I was just looking. If you want the third book, there is an option you can get 1 and 2 as well as like a bundle. So consider that.
Casey is talking about the Command Files bundle. So you get Command Files 1 and 2, the G.I. Joe team, and then the third is Cobra.
And that's on the Kickstarter.
Yes, it's on the Kickstarter.
Okay. Well, that's
the first 2 ship early? The first 2?
Yes. The plan is to mail any book that's not Command Files 3 that anybody backs as a bundle or an add-on or an all-in or whatever in August.
Okay. Sounds great.
Which is not that far away, I realized.
Yep.
Nah, bro. It is not.
Josh, I really thank you for coming on, and go ahead, finish.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. I really appreciate you guys being on your shows. I was on Casey's show a couple years ago for one of the other books, but it was a lot of podcasts, and it's really nice to be on new podcasts and like meet you guys in person. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about our fandom. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking their own little thing. They got their own channels and doing things, and So thank you guys all very much, and hopefully I'll be on all of your podcasts for whatever, and we can. If you need to talk comics, or like I said, let's figure out a Josh on Rise of Cobra movie.
Hell yeah, I'm in, bro.
You guys would get the scoop on those stories because I've never really told them too much.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have to do that sometime.
Absolutely.
Casey, what do you got coming up on Saturday?
Saturday, believe it or not, we are gonna wrap up our Joe Fest experience. We're gonna have like 7 people on there. So
I'm not on there. I'm hurt, Casey. I'm hurt.
Go to Joe Fest. It's a lot of fun.
I'm hurt.
But hey, if you watch, you'll get the Joe Fest experience.
So I will miss that one.
You're never up anyway.
There's always there's always replay.
The only time I'm up is when Casey or Hillbilly's like, "Hey, I need you on here," and I'm like, "I'll be there." But that's it.
Josh, anything coming up for you other than those shows?
No, it's just finishing the books. I mean, I got other future books coming. I have a History of Mask. So that'll be the toy line, and then of course all the IDW era and the current Skybound. I got a 4th volume of the Comic Guide, which will be International Europe, which is like the what I showed at the beginning, some of those comics will be in there. I have a whole book of all Europe, and then there's a whole nother book of all the rest of the world. But that one will be fair. So, and then another book. These would all be 2027 to 2028. A book on the G.I. Joe Collectors Club, G.I. Joe Transformers, and
Very cool.
it's going to cover both. So if you ever went to a Joe Con way back when, Brian Savage is participating in the book to help us make that. And it's just going to cover the history of all the toys and the comics and everything, the convention for that book. And it'll be both fandoms because, some people went to both, but mostly the Collectors Club ran it for both.
Yeah.
So the whole history book on that. And that one's a little bit more complex. But as I said, Brian Savage is committed to helping us with everything and interviews and digital assets and all that stuff. So that one's probably 2028. I think the history of Mask might be next summer.
Nice.
But because the mask book is actually quite easy to make. It's not that many toys and not that many comics. So should be pretty easy. That's a long time away though. Got to finish Command Files 3 first.
You will. Danny, you got anything coming up?
Nothing coming up that a couple things. Real quick, did anybody see the Centurions from Super 7?
No.
Nobody?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll pass on that. But I do want to mention something else on Kickstarter. If you guys haven't, hey, Jetman, I mentioned you earlier, bro. Hold on, I gotta show it. Jezza, right there, my man. You're on the board. I just talked to GI Jokers. He's gonna send me one too. So I got a spot right here for GI Jokers.
Yeah.
Hey guys, anybody out there? Let's get some stickers rolling. But I wanted to mention, as far as Kickstarter goes, anybody out there that hasn't backed Rise of Nexus, take a look at it. Those guys are great. Figures look awesome. Take a look at them.
We're going to try to get them on too.
Oh, I would love to. I'd love to get them on here.
Yeah.
Those guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Casey, were you with me when we went up there to talk to them?
I was up there a few times.
All right.
They had a lot of their stuff there, right? Like the figure wise and everything.
Yeah, they had the whole thing there.
Yeah. All their stuff looks great. And like I said earlier, I went all in on their Kickstarter, so I'll be getting like all their figures.
Yeah. All right, cool. So podcast from the pit this Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow morning. Go ahead.
I was going to ask who all is going to be on podcast from the pit. You said there were 7. Who all is there?
We're gonna have
Wes,
me, Hillbilly, Wes, GI Jetman, Maximum Warp, Dennis from Level 7, Beta Ray Bob.
Right on.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. You already said him.
Okay.
I might have to get a bigger TV screen.
Yeah. And tomorrow I will have out my GI Joe Fest, my Joe Fest recap video. It's about 30 minutes.
Cool.
So don't have to listen to me at all. It's just a bunch of videos and music.
I just put mine up yesterday. It's only 6 minutes. So if you guys got 6 minutes, please check that out.
So
I will also. Is that whole room? Is that like one? It's like a ballroom or something. Like how's that set up? And
that's a convention center.
Yeah.
So it's massive then. So it's a big area. Okay.
It's your normal medium-sized convention center. It's not your Vegas style convention center, but it's a convention center.
And it's got upstairs.
Not here. It's like here.
It's a hotel room convention center compared to like a San Diego or some of these other conventions where the entire building is just a convention center with no hotel.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the size of Red's Fest.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty big area.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
If you're not subscribed to Casey, podcast from the pit. If you're not subscribed to me, if you're on Casey's channel right now, Joe Hunter 73 YouTube, hop on over and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to Danny on Instagram.
I'm on
that's
Instagram.
One Creative.
That's correct.
And Josh is on Facebook. After Action Report.
Yep.
And you can definitely find them on Kickstarter. Go check that out.
Absolutely.
Yep. So thank you everybody for playing along. I don't know why I want to say playing along, but I want to say thank you to the chat for everyone just joining in. Had a great time talking to you, Josh. Really informative information. Big thanks to everybody hopping on here. Casey, thanks for coming on tonight.
Of course.
Yeah, always, man. Thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely. I appreciate it a lot. And
Yep.
Oh,
And
looks like we got a couple more that we can do. I got some, so I'll be on again.
Definitely. Can't wait to have you again. So
yeah,
anyway.
I'm down for Hollywood Josh anytime. That sounds like a fun one.
All right,
it was
guys.
an awesome part of my life. It's gone now, but it's an awesome part of my life, no doubt.
Can't wait. All right. Oh, got one more guy showing up. Billionaire XO. Thanks for joining. All right. Everyone have a great night.
Have a great night.
Later, guys.
Yo!
73